Well, we got Donte Williams on here. The home run we've been looking for, us alumni have been looking for. Coach, recruiter, the man, the myth, the legend. What's going on, bro?
True, chilling, man. Just daily life right now, breaking down some film, getting ready for the first game.
I heard that. I heard that. I just touched on it a little bit about us alumni needing this home run, meaning yourself. We haven't had excitement like this with a coach or any piece coming apart our program since, Coach O left that could really, really, really restore something or even keep it. How do I say this? Keep it to what it is, the significance of being at USC. So talk to us about coming home, man. How's it feel?
For me, it feels great. I mean, it's a little different right now because of COVID, but it's great. I mean, just majority of all these kids on this team already knew from when they was younger in high school, some of them even middle school. So, and then just continue that. And then like the guys right now that we're already recruiting, I've been knowing these guys for a while. So right now for me, it's great.
Where you staying at? The same neck of the woods you grew up in, or did you go to the
Nah,
hill?
nah, nah. Same dude, different area code right now.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with that, bro. Hey, man. So talk us through Take Back the West. Obviously, you see that. I took the name. What it meant to me was, in total, just taking back what we deserve. I know you're coming from Oregon and you're doing a great job taking some of our kids there. Can you elaborate on Take Back the West and what it really means to you?
For me, I feel like if you win in the West Coast, you pretty much can win anything you want. And to take it back, because just the last couple of years, I think people forget just a few years ago, SC was in the Rose Bowl and the Cotton Bowl and everything else. But in LA, if you have one bad day or especially one bad year, then everybody thinks you just fell off.
Right.
And during that little bit of time, a couple other teams have risen up, and this conference, anybody can win this conference. There's a lot of good coaches, a lot of good players, but SC is one of those places that should never leave a door open for anyone to win. And, right now we feel like, we can take everything back what's ours to where this is not just this year or next year. This is something that's every. And right now, when it comes to recruits and the kids staying home to, having the right people in the building, I feel Take Back the West means what's ours. When you think of the West Coast, you should think of USC. When you think of the Pac-12, you should think of USC. And when you think of national championships, you should think of USC. So that's where, the Take Back the West thing is from.
Man, and you being a part of this new foundation that we're building here at SC, let me ask you a deeper question. What means more to you, the recruiting of a player or coaching them?
Definitely the coaching. The development means so much more. The recruiting is, a short time. And when you're dealing with recruiting, you're dealing with everything. You're dealing with all kind of aspects of people's life. You could be dealing with the girlfriend. You could be dealing with the mom, the dad, the uncle, the cousin. You're dealing with a lot of things. High school coaches, 7-on-7 coach. But when the development and the coaching of someone, you're on a day-to-day with them. So, you get a chance to see someone come in there, whether they're 18, 19 years old or whatever, and you see them develop. And it's almost like you're helping them mature or something that their parents did in the past of, one day is bigger than football. One day they're going to be somebody's husband and they're going to have kids of their own and they're going to be out here. And USC is one of those places where I don't think you go to USC and get a degree to work for somebody. I think you go to USC and you get a degree to make sure someone works for you. Right. So making sure that, these kids understand that. That's what it's all about, taking back the West. When you think of academics, football, and the social environment, it's nothing better than USC. So, you don't have to leave home and go somewhere else to make all your goals and aspirations and dreams come true. Some of these dudes is #1 players in the nation and everything else being right here. So why do you need to go somewhere else? You're supposed to enhance that. You're not supposed to change that.
Man, this sounds so good. I'm telling you, all the boys that played there, when you took the contract, obviously we got new D-line coach, we got new DC, new special teams, but you were the one, bro. I'm just telling you. I know a lot of people have been, patting you on the back for it, but it just takes a lot to be able to leave I'm sure, a plush situation in Oregon to come home and get back gutter with it, with these LA kids, these Orange County kids, all the way up to the Bay, and leaving that stamp. And we're really forever grateful for you making that stand and coming home. Do you have any mentors that have guided you in the way of how you take your approach as a recruiter?
I really wouldn't say like guys as mentors, just guys that truly help me out throughout the way. You know, I pick up a little things from a lot of different people and I mix it with my own flavor and my own self. So you take some people like Demetrius Martin, you take, you know, a Tosh LaBoy, you even take Keith Hayward, and you take all these different people that I've been fortunate enough to work with, whether it was even Bob Diaco. I've been, you know, at a lot of places in a short amount of time, and some for, you know, different situations and some for unfortunate situations, right? But for me, you take, you know, like you learn from so many people of everybody thinks you're just supposed to learn what to do. I've also learned some things of what not to do.
Right.
So, I mean, you learn all of that, you mix it all up and you have your own, I have my own style, my own me. You know, I've been fortunate because I wouldn't do this anyway, but I've never had to change who I am,
Right.
you know? So for me, it's all about even enhancing myself.
I love to hear it, man. I love to hear it. Stay true to that, man, because you developing these kids to be themselves also, you know, that means a lot. It's not just about, like you said, just, you know, the football rah-rah, but they are going to be someone's husband one day. They're already someone's little brother or big brother or uncle, you know, and developing them as a man to stand on their own and, you know, go in every room, every meeting as themselves, you know, that builds a whole lot of confidence. Coach, your room right now, is it crowded? You can add guys. Are they competing? Talk us through this whole process of fall camp or hell week,
Uh,
you're calling it online.
yeah. Yeah. Well, camp, I mean, it's different, of course, because, I mean, it's different when you're in camp and it's just football all day, every day. Right now, this is like a camp when all these guys are in school. And it's different between people take summer school and they may take one class, two classes max. I mean, they're in school, they're taking 15, 18 credits.
Right,
Like,
getting it.
they're truly in school. And Zoom is harder than even being in person for some of these guys. You know, you got Zooms, you got tutors all day. So it's not truly camp because you still only got the window like the season of, you know, like say a 2 to 6 window to have them. But the big thing is when you have them for those 4 hours or so and making sure that they all glued in because now we're all under NCAA rules of how many hours and everything else. So it's definitely competition. You know, there's been multiple guys in multiple situations and spots for some for good reasons, some for bad. But, you know, it's been multiple guys playing. I don't feel it's a crowded room at all because you look at some of these other teams of how many guys they got on scholarships at that position, and it's a lot more than what we have. I'm fortunate that I got some guys that with some talent, though. Anytime you got some guys with some talent and they're open and willing to listen and learn and be coached, because that's another thing. You go to some of these places where, you know, that particular position, especially like they're flamboyant. That's just who they are. So if you got a whole room full of pit bulls, you better have a pit bull that's bigger that's controlling them and coaching them. Otherwise, you're going to have problems.
Yeah, I hear that, man. I hear that. And I
So,
love to hear that. I love to hear that they're competing. You know what I mean? Because as a fan, you sit back and obviously you can read papers. I don't like doing that because I was a player. But you read some stuff, you hear some stuff, and, you know, some talk here and there, and people don't, you know, they're not diving for balls. They're not doing this, or the practices aren't physical. And then all I've heard from this new core of coaches that have come in, it's about being physical. It's about competing. And your room especially, you know, if you look from the outside with the media, all they talk about is offense, right? That's all they talk about. The receivers, Graham, what they do. Your guys are getting the, you know, the bulk of this experience and can really, 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 really make a huge impact on our team.
correct. And I mean, that's like even like everybody talks about corners, they think about, you know, stopping the pass. And that's what, you know, when I came here and a couple other places, that's where, you know, that all they think is stop the pass, stop the pass. They don't realize we in the run game too. I mean,
Absolutely.
sometimes we in the box and we got to set edges and, you know, it's different coverages and everything else. And even if it is a pass play, you still got to get off a block. I mean, even if it's a run play, you still got to get off a block and get to the ball, you know?
Right.
So I think that was, you know, one of those things sometimes you get stuck and you see certain NFL guys where they'll play hard, but if the ball doesn't come their way, it's kind of like, I'm on coast. And you
Right.
get a lot of dudes nowadays that's, you know, in Pop Warner, they think they could do the same thing. And it's like, nah, bro. Like, this is a different level of football just because the quarterback run game and, you know, we're short of defender. If you got a guy in the post in this quarterback run game, you're almost playing 10 on 11. So we have to make sure that we're able to get off blocks, set edges, you know, run to the football. And if you can't do that, then USC is not the right place for you, and I'm definitely not the right coach for you.
I hear you. I hear you. Do you think the emergence, because I'm kind of late with this, because I was, you know, I was fortunate to have a longer career and I'm just now getting back into the world. Do you think the emergences of like the 7-on-7 is a reason behind some of that lack of physicality?
I don't, because you see some of these dudes in 7-on-7.
I've never watched it really. I just keep hearing like it's a big, place for recruiting now.
Hey, some of these dudes in 7-on-7, I tell you, if I was some of these kids' parents, I'd almost be fighting. So,
Like that?
I mean, yeah, it's almost like they didn't win sometimes. It's like tackle without pass sometimes. But
Okay.
I think it helps them. I think especially at certain positions. So at DB, I think 7-on-7 can help you, because it's almost like playing high school basketball, but yet you still play with your AAU team, right? It's just helping you get year round. And I was a person that, I didn't have the 7-on-7 wave when I was growing up, just like you didn't, right?
Yeah, we're same age.
But I think it could have helped me a lot, because I think it would have helped me stay out of trouble, and then would have helped stop me from playing video games all day. So, it at least gives these guys, a chance to play football year round. And if they're giving you a chance to play football year round when somebody's caring about you, I mean, I see nothing wrong with it. I think all it could do is, enhance you, especially if they out there really coaching and care about you.
That's good. That's good, man. One more talk about the guys in your locker room, guys in your room. With this new coaching philosophy from Coach Orlando, are guys taking to it, the defensive changes and whatnot? Because obviously this is the COVID season, the bubble 7, or the COVID 7, as I want to call it, really. Are guys taking to this new playbook with more time to actually digest it and understand it if they're studying it? Or has it been difficult because of the amount of the lack of reps?
I think it's a little bit of both, because everybody learns everybody learns different, so there's multiple ways to learn. I don't really know what happened in the past. I just know right now that the group of guys that's here on defense as coaches, like all high energy. So all kind of, really demanding, because you can coach it and everything else, but if you're not demanding to critique it, it doesn't even matter. Right. So I think that's, one thing. You can say one thing in the meeting room, but if you don't hold them to that standard, you're going to have issues. And one thing I can say right now is we're definitely holding them to those standards. Now, is it always going to be perfect? No, because we did miss all the spring football. We have missed a lot of things. Even when we came back, we couldn't ever do anything against the offense. So it was never lined up formation. So it was like, so we're truly behind when it comes to understanding football and knowing the defense inside and out. So every day, even if it's something that we've been doing for 10, 11 days in a row, it's still little things that you're learning. Right. Especially, just the looks that we get in practice I'm pretty sure going to be different than the looks we see in the game. So it's pretty much getting these guys prepared and, adjusted to anything and that can happen to them. Because in football, sure, anything can happen. Just like, you could be third string one day and you could look in the same game and you could be starting in the second quarter. So just making sure that they're all prepared. That's, big, especially like you say, during COVID, you never know.
Right.
And, I could see the guys taking to it as far as because what we're demanding, they're doing.
Good.
So that's a plus. I mean, they definitely are being a lot more physical. They're staying low with their pads. And, I mean, our practices are a lot more physical. We have a ton of more live periods and things like that.
Great. Looking at your coaching staff, obviously I played with a few of the guys there. Great guys. I'm glad the staff has gotten put together in a way that you got some old school guys that know what it's all about to be at SC, and you got some new guys that come in with new energy and new demands, like you just said. Coach, will you tell us how these other coaches have seen some of these guys before you got here and how they like Kerry, for instance, has he told you that guy's doing a lot better than before you got here? Has it been a little bit of that, but not really, because I just didn't want to have too much of prejudgment. And like I said, a lot of these guys I knew before, like most places you take a job, you want to look at all the film from last year and see all the things that these guys did. Instead, I didn't do any of that really. I kind of briefed over some things. I saw a couple of habits that, may be good, may be bad, and things to enhance. But just for me to just judge them off that is hard to, because I don't know what was really being coached, what was being said, or, what was going on. So instead, I just let them show me now. Right. Non-biased. I like that, man. Well, I won't keep you, man. I appreciate you coming on. Take Back the West podcast. It's your name, so you always got a home here. You know what I mean? And like I told you before, all the guys that I played with were all big fans, excited that you're home. You're comfortable. You're settling in. The guys and the community's embracing you the way it should. And welcome home, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Fight on. Take Back the West.